Good morning students. In the previous class we were discussing about 5-mark questions on inheritance chapter. See, in inheritance, types of inheritance, mode of inheritance, constructors in inheritance, virtual base class, abstract class, destructors in inheritance. Okay, these are the concepts we covered, and questions on these concepts we already discussed in the last class. I discussed only 1 or 2 questions. Let us continue the same. Next question. Question number 3. What is mode of inheritance? Explain them. What is meant by mode of inheritance? There are 3 modes. Visibility modes are nothing but mode of inheritance: private mode, public mode, and protected mode. So, what is the role of mode of inheritance? After inheriting base class members, they belongs to which section of the derived class, that is depends on mode of inheritance. That's why what we can say, mode of inheritance, it controls or it defines the inherited members, whether they become private or protected or public members of the derived class. After inheritance from the base class, whether they become private members or public members or protected members, that is depends on visibility mode. So the definition would be like this. It defines whether the inherited members are private, public, or protected, members of the derived class. It defines whether the inherited members are private, public, or protected members of derived class. So that is the definition. So visibility modes, there are 3 visibility modes. Private, how to write the explanation when they ask all modes in same question. Private mode, we must write a private mode here because private access specifier also there. Private mode. Base class private members cannot be inherited. First point. And second point, base class public and protected members become private members of the derived class. Private members of the derived class. Understood? Example, you can write like this, or syntax. First I'll write syntax. Class, base class name, some members, class, derived class name, colon. So here you must mention visibility mode private because we are writing syntax about a private mode. Private base class name base class name. After closing class, we must write semicolon. So this is the syntax. Syntax is enough. Now, like that you can write explanation about public mode and protected mode. What would be the public mode? See, in this mode, base class private members cannot be inherited. Whatever the mode of inheritance, base class private members cannot be inherited. That point is common for all mode of inheritance. Our point na first barbidbeku. Next, base class public and protected member. Now I am explaining public mode of inheritance. So this is about private mode. Let us write the public mode of inheritance. Public mode I'll write. So first point is same, that is base class private members cannot be inherited. First point same. And second point, base class public members become, I'll continue here, public members become public members of derived class. Public members of derived class. Base class protected members become protected members of the derived class. Or in other words, what you can say, base class public and protected members goes to respective section of the derived class. Like that you can write, or you can write like this. And syntax same, class base class name, open flower bracket, body of the class derived class name, colon. So now which mode? Public mode. So you must write a public here, public base class name, sorry. I'll write from here, class base class name, body of the class, now derived class, derived class name, colon, mode of inheritance is public, space, base class name, open flower bracket, body of the class, close flower bracket, semicolon. Okay, and another thing, protected mode of inheritance. See, protected mode here also, the first point is same, protected mode, base class private members cannot be inherited. Now second point, base class public and protected members become protected members of the derived class. This is important, protected members of the derived class. Understood? So here what changes you need to make here? Protected instead of private, protected. If they ask all mode of inheritance in the same question, first you have to write the definition, then syntax. If they ask example, you have to write the example. Okay. Now next question. If they ask only one mode of inheritance, then how to write the explanation, I'll show you. Fourth question. So what is, explain Explain protected mode of inheritance. Protected mode of inheritance. See, the question is like this. You must write an example also. Though he did not ask example, it is for 5 mark. No, you must write example. Sometimes they will give explain protected mode of inheritance with an example. ಅವರು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ, ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದೇ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ, ಒಂದೇ ಮೋಡ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ. Now first you have to write the explanation. In this mode of inheritance, in this mode of inheritance, base class, public and protected members become protected members of the derived class. Protected members of the derived class. Next point, base class private members cannot be inherited. Base class private members cannot be inherited. Okay, so what we had written in the previous question, same explanation. Now syntax you must write. Already we discussed in the previous question syntax. Now example, you can take simple example on protected mode of inheritance. Class, you must write the header files # include iostream.h, # include conio.h. Class, I'll take class super, base class name. Protected, I'll take protected. Int SID, student ID I'll take. In the public section, I'll take a function void scan cout, enter student ID. Scene extraction SID. Class close, I'll close the class here. Now the derived class sub, I'll take name of the class colon. So mode of inheritance is protected. And what is the base class name here? Super is the base class. Open flat bracket. Protected. So in the protected section, I won't take anything here. Public. See, this is protected mode of inheritance. Now the base class protected as per the rule. Base class public and protected members become protected members of the derived class. So public and protected members. SID is a protected member, scan is a public member, and these two will be inherited to derived class, that too in a protected section. Now what is the conclusion? Derived class protected section having SID and scan function. Now I want to display SID. So SID is in protected section. I can write the display function in this class. Void disp cout insertion student ID SID function close, class close. Now we have to call functions. Void main, to which class we should create object, to the derived class. Sub is the derived class. How to create object? Sub. Yes. Now which function I have to execute first? Scan function. To get the value from the keyboard, we have written two instructions, and these two instructions belongs to scan function. So I must call scan function, but I have created object for derived class, that is sub. Through the object of derived class, I have to access base class member function. You all know, after inheritance, base class protected member and public member goes to it goes to protected section of the derived class, isn't it? Now the protected section of sub contains SID and scan function, isn't it? So is it possible to call scan function directly from the main? Can we write like this? S dot scan. We know that a non-member function can access only the public data of a class. Is scan belongs to public section of the derived class? No, it belongs to protected section of the derived class. So we cannot call scan function from the main function. Main is a non-member function. Understood? So from where I have to call? Through the member function of the class we can call protected data. So here protected section having scan function. That's why we should not call scan function from the main function. I can call from here scan semicolon. Understood? Scan also member function of sub. Disp also member function of sub. Why I called from here? A protected member is accessed only through the member function of that class or friend function. Here we are not bothered about a friend function. Okay, I have taken member function. This is a one member function. One member function can access or can call another member function of the class. So in order to call that function, we should not use object and dot operator. If it is a non-member function, we can use object and dot operator. Now it's not possible, it gives error. Scan, it's a protected data, it shows the error like that. We cannot access through the main function. Now how to call? S dot disp get ch. When you call this function is in public section, so it get execute. Scan function is there within that function. When it enters, then control come to this line. There is another function called scan function. So scan belongs to protected section of the class. So what is there in the scan function? These two statements are there. So these two statements will be executed. After that, the remaining statement, that is student ID, SID, will be displayed. So this simple example you can give for the protected mode of inheritance. Like that you can give if they ask other mode, that is private and public. If they ask private mode of inheritance, private mode of inheritance, any one mode they will ask for the exam. Explain private mode of inheritance. In this mode of inheritance, base class, public and protected members become private members of the derived class. Private members of the derived class. Okay. Next, base class private members cannot be inherited. Don't get confused with visibility, mode and access specifier. Every class having three access specifiers: private, public and protected. So base class private members cannot be inherited. So whatever the mode of inheritance, whether it is private mode, public mode or protected mode. When I say the word mode, where you need to concentrate? Here. In the derived class, illi concentrate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Mode of inheritance ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು. ಇದು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟಾ, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾ, ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡಾ? Whatever it is, private, public or protected, base class private members cannot be inherited. That is the rule. Now visibility mode is private. So here private mode of inheritance. In the base class, I did not take a private members. Now I'll take private member. Private int SID semicolon. SID belongs to private section, so it cannot be inherited. In order to read value, I must call this function. I have to define function in this class, and I'll take another statement in the same function. I'll start from here. Wait. Syntax, you all know how to write the syntax. I'll start example from here. Header files # include iostream and conio.h, class super, open flat bracket, in the private section, which is the default access specifier private. If I did not mention any access specifier, then which is the access specifier private? Int SID public void scan cout enter student ID cin extraction SID. Another function I will take to display, because we cannot display from the subclass because SID cannot be inherited. Void disp cout insertion student ID colon SID, class close. Now the derived class sub is inherited in a private mode. So base class private members cannot be inherited to derived class. So what are the things going to be inherited? Public and protected. In this example, I did not take protected member, I had taken only public members, private and public. So public members scan and display, these two members are inherited to private section of the derived class. I will take private section here. Okay, now scan and disp function goes to private section of the derived class. Now I have to call function. I won't write anything here, just I will close it. From main function, I have to call scan function and disp function. Is it possible to access scan function and display function from main? Can I call like this, s.scan? Is it possible? No, because scan belongs to private section. Disp also private section. Then who can access private member of a class? That class member functions. Understood? So I must take a member function in a public section. I'll take void show. I'll take. From this function, I'll call those two functions. Scan function. Nothing is there to write instruction here. So simply I have taken this function to access the private data of the class. What are the private data here? Scan and disp are the private data. Semicolon, sorry, function close, class close. Show belongs to public section of the derived class. So I can call show here. When I call show function, control enters this line, and there is another function called, that is scan function. The scan function statements will be executed. After that, one more function, that is disp. Then disp function will be executed. Like this, you can give the example for private mode of inheritance. Next mode is public mode of inheritance. So what is the explanation? In this mode of inheritance, base class public and protected members become public and protected members respectively, or public members goes to respective section. Members are inherited to respective sections of the derived class. Understood? Now, base class private members cannot be inherited as usual. Now, class super, so private data SID, so I had taken two functions. So instead of writing private, I must write public here, public. Base class protected and public members goes to protected and public members of the derived class. In this example, I did not take a protected member, I have taken private member. Here, private members cannot be inherited. Then what are the things going to be inherited here? Scan and disp, and public members are become public members of the derived class. So I should not write anything here. Simply I'll close the class. Now I can call these two functions from the object of derived class. S is an object of derived class. S dot scan and S dot disp. See, scan and disp are member functions of base class. I am accessing base class members through the object of derived class directly from main function, because scan and disp functions are become public members of the derived class. A public member can be accessed through the non-member function. Understood? Next question. Explain constructors in inheritance. Now, you know that what are the things which are not inherited to derived class? Private members and constructor. Though constructor is defined in the public section, it cannot be inherited to derived class. So how to initialize base class constructor? Through the derived class constructor, we have to pass initial values to the base class constructor. The first point, what you need to write, cannot be inherited. Okay. Constructors cannot be inherited. Derived class constructor has the responsibility to pass initial values to its base class. Derived class constructor has to pass initial values to its base class constructor, Now, therefore, derived class constructor take parameters for both base class and derived class. Understood? Derived class constructor has to pass initial values, no? So if derived class also having constructor, then it has to take parameters which is for both base class and derived class. Therefore, derived class constructor take parameters for both the base class and derived class. In multi-level inheritance, the derived class has to pass parameter to its immediate parent class, or we can write its parent class constructor, not to its grandparent class. Its grandparent class. Okay. Now, always base class constructor executes first, then or later derived class constructor will execute. So this is in single level inheritance. Single level inheritance means only one base class and one derived class. In case of multi-level inheritance, the constructors will execute according to the level of inheritance, I explained these things in the constructors in multi-level inheritance. That is, if a class A, class B and class C, so how constructors will execute? There is a rule, first base class constructor executes, then derived class constructor. In this multi-level inheritance, the derived class is C, so its base class is B. Okay, then for this derived class, which is the base class A, so base class constructors will execute first. Now first A will execute, then B, then C. Now in multiple inheritance, what is multiple inheritance? Two or more base classes and one derived class. In the case of multiple inheritance, the base class constructor, which base class constructor executes first? So they both are in the same level, A and B. If you consider two base classes, A and another base class is B, I am going to inherit one more class C from these two classes, A and B. So these A and B are in the same level, then which constructor will execute? That is depends on the order of inheritance that appears in the derived class, header. In multiple inheritance, base class or execution of base class constructors is depends on the order that appears in the derived class. See, in multiple inheritance, execution of base class constructors is depends on the order that appear in the derived class header. A and B, and another thing is C, another class. So C is a derived class of A and B. So which class constructor executes first? That is depends on the header class C colon. If I take public mode A public comma public, I'll continue here, I don't have space there. As per the definition of multiple inheritance, two base classes or two or more base classes and one derived class. So the derivation is like this. Class C colon public A comma public B. See here, the order that appears in the derived class header, this is derived class header, which order first A is there, then B is there. If you take first B, then class B constructor will execute, then class A constructor. So the order means like this. Okay, next, they ask a particular inheritance, how constructors are used in multiple inheritance or constructors are used in multi-level inheritance, then you need to write program. This is theoretical part because they have asked explain constructors in inheritance, how constructors are used in inheritance. Okay, constructors cannot be inherited, so derived class constructor has to pass initial value to its base class. So there are different types of inheritance. So in each type, how constructors are executed, I have explained through these points. Now the next question is, explain virtual base class. Sometimes they'll ask what is the need of virtual keyword, sometimes explain virtual base class. So virtual is a keyword. We already discussed this concept, virtual base class. So first you need to write the definition. What is the definition of virtual base class? There is no particular, we cannot define this. There is some situation will arise. In such situation we use a virtual class. So by knowing that situation, we can conclude a definition like this. In order to avoid multiple copies, okay, in order to avoid multiple copies which is coming from the base class to derived class, we can make a base classes from which multiple copies are arise. Okay, those classes we can make it as virtual. ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ವೈ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೇಟಾ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? To avoid or in inheritance to avoid multiple copy of same data to be inherited from base classes to derived class. Those base classes are derived, those base classes are defined as virtual. So this, like this we can write the definition for virtual base class. Pictorial representation class A, class B and class C. Now one more class D. Class D gets 2 copies of class A data from class B and class C. Understood? Now syntax. Class A, class B, which is inherited from class A, visibility mode, sorry, virtual I must write here, virtual space visibility mode A, class C colon virtual. You can add this keyword either before visibility mode or after visibility mode. These 2 classes are derived from class A and another class D colon. So this class has to derive from class B and class C. Visibility mode B, comma, visibility mode C. So this would be the syntax of virtual base class. Example. I'll take class A in the public section. Void, I'll take int x close semicolon. Class B colon, I'll inherit in a public mode, public A, public close. Class C colon, public A and public class D colon, public B comma public C. Now see here, in this example A is a base class and it has a data member integer, one integer data member int x, and class B which is derived from class A. You all know the mode of inheritance is in this example mode of inheritance is public. So what happens when public mode of inheritance is there? Base class public members become public section of the public members of the derived class, and base class protected become derived class protected members. In this example I have taken only public member. Okay, so the public member comes to public section of the derived class. Class B public section having int x. Class C also inherited from class A. So class C public section also having int x. Are you understanding what is there in the public section of class B? Int x is there. Class C public section also having int x. Now class D which is inherited from class B and class C. Class B, its public section having int x, so that would be inherited to class D, and class C also having int x, and that is also inherited to class D. So the class D public section having two set of same data, that is class A data. Class A data ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, class D ಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಸಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಎರಡು ಪಾತ್ ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು B ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು C ಇಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So if a class, it should not contain like this. If multiple copies are there, then it shows error. A class, we should not take two variables in the same name, isn't it? So in order to avoid, I must make these two classes as virtual. ಯಾವ ಪಾತ್ ಇಂದ ಅದು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು B ಮತ್ತೆ C ಇಂದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ B ಮತ್ತೆ C ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ B colon virtual base class, sorry, public, no, mode of inheritance public A. Here also class C colon virtual public A. Now only one copy will inherit it to derived class. Now I can read x value, void, I'll take function name like void scan, cout, enter x value, see in extraction. See, this x goes to public section of the derived class. Now a public member can be accessed through either member function or from non-member function. So this is a member function. Using this member function I read data for x. From main function I will display d obj dot scan. Next I will display cout x is equal to, I can write like this, obj dot x. You can display from this function also. After this line you can write cout x is equal to x, only you have to write x, you should not use object and dot operator. So why I have taken here, see x belongs to public section, understood? So base class x value, x data member is inherited to class B, that too in a public section, and class C public section, and these two publics, from any one of these class the data will be inherited to class D. Now class D public section also having x value. What are there in the public section of the class D? Int x is there and scan function is there. So the x is a public member. Now I can access x from through the member function and also non-member function. To demonstrate that, I have taken like this. One, to read the data x value, I had taken a member function, and to display x value, I display from the non-member function main function. In this program, I have explained two concepts here. One is virtual base class, and another thing, a public member can be accessed through the member function and non-member function. Understood? Now explain abstract base class. First you have to write the definition, then example. This is for 5 mark. Abstract class, it is a base class. Abstract class is nothing but is a base class. It acts as a base for all other classes and to which objects are not created. Understood? It is a base class, or it is a class. It acts as base class from which other classes are derived. Other classes are derived. To this base class, objects are not created. Objects are not created. Example, you can show single level inheritance, but at the end of the program you have to explain which is abstract class in the program. Class demo, I'll take demo, public void read, sorry, I'll take void print, demo is an abstract class. Class child colon public demo. In the public section, I'll continue here. Void show cout child is a derived class of the base of the class demo. So we have to create object for child, child, c dot print, c dot show, when you concentrate on main function, what you can understand? Child is a class. There is only one class, child. From to this class I have created object. Through the object of this class I called these two functions. What we think about this? There are two functions and these two functions belongs to the class child. So when you see superficially, we conclude that two functions and these two functions belongs to child class because we accessed these two functions through the object of child class. But actual thing is, print belongs to the class demo and show belongs to class child. If you go further in detail, you come to know how there is a base class. So in the external view, for the external view, we can't come to know how many classes are there in this program. Understood? So this class is hidden from the external use. That's why demo is called abstract class. At the end of the program, you have to write the explanation like this. In this example, demo is an abstract class. Abstract class because it is a base class for which objects are not created. Objects are not created. From the objects of or from the object of derived class child demo from the object of child class child members of class demo will be accessed or we accessed or accessed. So from the object of derived class child, members of class demo are accessed. What are the members of class demo? Print is a member. It's having only one member. Member of class demo is accessed. Only one function is there now, so is accessed. Like this, you have to write the explanation. So there is a question like this. Write a C++ program to calculate cube and square of a number using hierarchical inheritance. Write a C++ program to calculate square and cube of a number using hierarchical inheritance. See, before writing this, let us glance once what is hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchy means tree structure. Two or more classes are derived from single base class. So this we can write a program in different ways. Okay, I'll write in one method. Header files, class. I'll take name of the class is num. This is the base class. Here I'll read a value for a given data. I'll make it as protected int n. In the public section, void read, name of the function I'll take read here. Cout, enter an integer. Here I consider integer value, an integer. Class square colon. So for these two classes, again I have to take one more class to calculate cube. I'll take two subclasses, one is square, another one is cube, and these two classes requires a number. So instead of taking number again, I can make use of this function public, base class name is num. In the public section, I have to calculate square here. Void, I'll take cal cout. In the protected section, I'll take another data member to store the result. Int r. R is equal to n into n. Cout square of n is r. So another class cube colon, in the public section, public mode of inheritance, base class is num. Here also I'll take a data member to store the result, protected colon int r. So this class is different from that class. So the pictorial representation would be like this. This is num class num, and this is square, and it would be cube. Public void cal. This cal function belongs to cube class, and that is different. That belongs to that class. There is no inheritance between these two classes. They are separate classes, so no ambiguity will arise. R is equal to n into n into n. Cout cube of n is r. Function close, class close, semicolon. Now void main. In order to calculate square of a number, I must call this cal function using which object? Square, class square object. So I have to create object for square. Yes. So to calculate, first we have to give n value. Where I have to give n value? Which function is there to do that? Read function. So I have to call read function. What mode of inheritance it is? Public mode of inheritance. So public member of a base class goes to public section of the derived class. Understood? And protected member become protected member of a derived class. What is there in the protected section of base class? Int n. So int n goes to protected section of the derived class. Now the protected section contains n and r, and public section having cal and read function. So I can call read function here. S dot read function. Now I have to calculate square, so I must call s dot cal. So this cal function will execute because which object I have taken? Square. Next I want to calculate cube, so I have to call like with the same value. If you want to change the n value, again you have to call read function, or you can calculate with the same value, you can call on the cal function using different object. Which object? Cube. I must create another object c dot cal. Let us see the output here so that you can understand. This is output screen. So always execution starts from main function, square s, object is created, s dot read. Which function will execute? Read function. What is there? Enter an integer. So enter an integer. I'll give 3. After that, s dot cal. Which object? Square class square object. S dot cal. This function will execute. R is equal to n into n. 3 3s are 9. 9 will stored in R. After that, square of. This will be displayed. Square of 3. N value is 3. No, 3 is 9. Next, I have created object for this class cube, c dot cal. Which function? This calculate function. So n value is same because it is inherited to both classes. N value is 3. R is equal to 3 into 3 into 3. So 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. The cube of 3 is 27. Like this, the output will display. Understood? I hope you understood how to write the answers for different questions on inheritance. In the next class, I will discuss some more problem statements on inheritance. Thank you.